Do you know every machine need energy to work? Different types of machine use different type of energies. Some use chemical energy, for example, generator, bike. Some use mechanical energy as a force, like kota gadi, gada gadi. Some use electrical energy as our fan, television, iron. So all the bodies that work need energy. We living organism also work. We talk, we walk, we use our muscles, and for that we need energy. That energy come from a very important organelle inside this our cell called mitochondria. Mitochondria are powerhouse. Hey guys, I am Dilip Kumar here with a new video, and today our topic is mitochondria and Golgi complexes. Do you know what kind of energy we use? We use ATP. Yes, we use ATP. It stands for adenosine triphosphate. We use we need that currency. We use that energy, and that is called ATP. And ATP are synthesized in the mitochondria of the cell. Mitochondria are located inside the cytoplasm of cell. Historically, in 1858, Albert von Kolliker discovered mitochondria and he named it bioblast. He discovered that later in the year 1898, another scientist named Carl Benda or Carl Benda, he named it mitochondria because when he saw this structure for the first time from the microscope, it looked as a small thread in the cytoplasm. So as it looked like a thread, he named it mitochondria because the word mito means thread. So he named it mitochondria. Mitochondria are absent in the prokaryotic cell. Instead of that, in the place of mitochondria, its function is performed by cell membrane. Mitochondria are present in the eukaryotic cells. Mitochondria number depend upon the work of the cell. If cell does more function, it needs more energy so that it has more mitochondria. If the cell does less work, so it does not need any more amount of energy so that it has less amount of mitochondria. For example, our muscle cell, they work more, they need more energy so that they have more mitochondria. Our heart cell work more so that they have more mitochondria, while our blood cell only used for the transportation of gases so that they have less mitochondria. Mitochondria are small structures from ranges from 0.5 micrometer to 1 micrometer. They are double membranous in structure. The outermost membrane of mitochondria is smooth. It has proteins called porin that track material inside the mitochondria. Its inner membrane has many folds. These folds are called cristae. The inner space of the mitochondria is occupied by a fluid, plasma or gel called matrix. That matrix contains a circular DNA and ribosomes. As mitochondria contain its own DNA and ribosome so that it can replicate itself. It has ability to replicate itself, make its own copies and increase its number depending upon the need of the cell. The same policy also applies for the chloroplast, as chloroplast also have own DNA and ribosome. They also replicate by self-ability. The space between outermost membrane and inner membrane is called intermembranous space. In the innermost membrane of mitochondria, there runs a cycle called Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle. That cycle synthesizes ATP for the cell. The innermost membrane has different types of proteins. They transport the electrons from the inner matrix to the intermembranous space. When the protons amount increase in the membranous space, these protons are transported through F1 particle or ATP synthesis particle into the matrix of the cell where ATP is synthesized for the body. As mentioned earlier, mitochondria synthesize ATP for the body, for the cell. They also play a key role in production of heat, and they also play a role in apoptosis. Apoptosis is a process of cell's natural destruction, cell natural death. They release some kind of proteins which destroy the cell when cell become old, fragile or weak. So that is all about mitochondria. Let's move to our next topic, Golgi complexes. Just imagining for the time being, what would have happened if mitochondria does load shedding in our body, but it doesn't continuously produce energy.
ओह यार यार ये कितनी औसम है यार
You know that in the big cities there lies many industries. They make different kind of material and transport it to the different small cities of the country where that is necessary. Similarly, in our body, different materials are made by different structures. They need a kind of transportation. They need a kind of post office, as that transportation is needed for the supply of different structures, different materials. In our body, there is a post office, there is a supplying system that is called Golgi complex. Golgi complex feels a weird name, but Golgi complex name was given to that structure because it was discovered by Camillo Golgi, an Italian scientist. After his discovery, after his research, after his contribution in his name, we named it in the respect of Camillo Golgi. Camillo Golgi discovered that structure, Golgi complex, from the nerve cell of an owl. Do you know why we call it Golgi complex? We call it Golgi complex because it consists of two structures: a vesicle, small round ball-like structures, and fillet bags that separate from the endoplasmic reticulum. These bags, including the ball-like structure, are combinedly called Golgi complex. Golgi complexes are single membranous structure. They are present in animal cell as well as in the plant cell. In the animal cell, they are closely packed, densely packed, so we call it Golgi complex. But in the plant cell, they are not densely packed, they are far from each other, so we call it dictosome. There are other names of Golgi complex, for example, liposome. We call it also Dalton complex. We call it also Becker's body, and we call it also idiosome. These Golgi complexes look like a stalk of cisternes, flat bag-like structure, sac-like structure called cisternes. These cisternes are detached from the endoplasmic reticulum. The function of Golgi complex is a packing of proteins. They pack proteins. They also make packings for glycoproteins, and they also make packings for lipoproteins. In general, the function of Golgi complex is making packings of different types of materials like proteins that comes from rough endoplasmic reticulum and the conjugated compounds. The conjugated compounds means dual compounds, two compounds together. For example, glucose and proteins called glycoprotein, and lipids and protein called lipoproteins. Golgi complexes are absent in mature sieve cells in the plant. They are absent in the sperm cells, and they are also absent in red blood corpuscles. The last important function of Golgi complex is making of lysosome. The lysosome are called suicidal bomber of the cell. Lysosome contain highly digestive enzymes that digest what come in their way, whether it is a bacteria from the outside, a virus from the outside, or the inner cytoplasmic feeble weaker structures. They combine with those structures and destroy it for the recycling of their components. So that is all about Golgi complex and mitochondria. And the last, I would like to say that if you like the contents, if you are getting something, If you are understanding or learning something from me, then like my channel, subscribe my channel, comment on the topic. That comment will help me to reform, to bring changes in my channel. Thank you so much.